What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to Hit the Books, Season 3, Episode 32. Lot to get into this week in the sports world. Just me, Ace, and Mackie. No Jesse this week as he is away for work. Mackie, we'll hand things off over to you first. What's going on? Final Four this weekend. Masters next weekend. This is also a great time in the sports world. But what's been going on with you?
Yeah, not much going on. Obviously, NHL race heating up. College basketball, obviously, we're getting into the Final Four. So only 3 games left. I know it sucks. The season's gonna end, but looking forward to the Final Four. Obviously, um, Rangers heating up. Only 6 games left, 7 games left. So still sitting atop the league right now. So hopefully we can hold on to that. Other than that, yeah, I'm looking forward to the Masters as well. So but other than that, not much going on. What do you guys got going on?
Yeah, I mean, you guys said it. We're in a good spot for sports right now. March Madness has been heating up. Got a good spot there. I'm not a huge Masters guy. Maybe I'll catch a bit of it. Maybe catch an update through you guys as well. But the MLB is fully flowing right now. Had some day baseball. Sad they got rained out, but had some day baseball and get over 150 more games to come for each team. NHL playoffs right around the corner. My Bruins doing their thing. Another great game last night. Celtics still atop the NBA. So looking forward to get talking about this week's agenda.
Absolutely. Yeah, we'll jump right into it. We'll start out in the NFL. NFL draft right around the corner. That's obviously the kind of the main buzz in the NFL world right now, except for this headline that we'll get into next. Kind of the top three, the quarterbacks, which order are they going to go? I think Caleb Williams is obviously the unanimous number one for everyone. Which route will Washington go? I personally think it's going to be Caleb. Then I think Washington has to take Jaden Daniels. I think if you miss on him there, that's a tough look for Washington, but they've made worse picks. I could see them, fuck this up, but I think they got to go with Jaden Daniels at 2, the Heisman. The interesting spot here is I've been hearing a lot of situations or scenarios where your New England Patriots are trading out of this pick. I didn't know necessarily what they were getting for it, how much value is there for it. But teams like Minnesota, teams like I forget the other one that said they wanted to slide up into this top 5 to go maybe get Drake May instead of a JJ McCarthy, settling for him. I don't know. What do you guys think? I think it's going to go Caleb, Jaden Daniels. If New England's sitting there, they're going to take Drake May.
Yeah, I think so too, but you never know what the Patriots are going to do with their pick. You should see the amount of stories that are going around. People think they're going to trade the pick. People think they're going to draft a QB. That's the biggest group. People think they're going to take Marvin Harrison, best player available. I mean, there's a lot of teams that need quarterbacks. The Raiders, the Saints, the Seahawks, the Minnesota Vikings, like you said. A lot of teams could trade up. You could get some great value for it. I could also see them keeping their pick and selecting someone good. The Patriots need a lot of help anywhere. Don't have a lot of playmakers on that offensive side of the ball, so I wouldn't be surprised to see them keep that pick and select someone there, whether it be Jaden Daniels, Drake May, or Marvin Harrison. I personally would hope it's Jaden Daniels. The odds of that are much lower, obviously, but not too worried about what they do with it. Whatever route you go, you're in a good situation. Their poor season last year put them in a good spot to be able to make a choice like this, but I just hope they get some nice pieces to add to that offensive side of the ball. Mackie, you have any other thoughts on how this top three might go? I feel like it's going to be quarterback, 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 though.
Yeah, I don't know. I think Drake May could go second. I think Washington has their eye on them. I is there a lot of talk of Jaden Daniels going second? I feel like he was a little further back in the draft, but I could see it going obviously Caleb Williams one, Drake May, and maybe even Marv going third. I've heard a lot of talk of Marv going to New England, but honestly, what are the odds on all of these?
I have no idea the drafts or the draft odds and things like that. I never actually
Yeah,
bet on
we'll
that kind of
we'll
stuff.
we'll dive into it as we get closer. I mean, I know we have in the past before about guys get drafted hot. Not necessarily the pick. I do like maybe over under on their draft selection, but yeah, as we get closer to that, we got to get those
I
odds
just look
rolling.
at I just look at what Washington did this offseason. You trade Sam Howell, the former North Carolina Tar Heel, the guy that Drake May sat behind. Because if you're bringing in Drake May, I think you keep Sam Howell and you don't bring in Marcus Mariota. I think they're looking to go mobile. They want to get the young Heisman in there. I mean, that's just what I think. We'll see what happens on draft night, but
And
yeah, I just
talk of
don't think
JJ McCarthy going second too.
Yeah, I
yeah,
see.
that's people are
That's
fucking
cap.
high. I want what they're smoking. That's crazy.
Yeah, I've seen JJ people pushing for JJ McCarthy to go in the top three. No way he's going ahead of any of those
What would you
quarterbacks.
do if your Patriots took him third and passed on Drake May if that's who was sitting
Oh,
I don't think they would do that though.
well, yeah, they wouldn't. But like,
there? Another Michigan
what if they
guy.
did?
Yeah. I feel like he's the same situation that Mac Jones is. He just won the national championship. We just did that. Where they're going with one of the top end draft picks at QB and taking a risk, or we're going with a superstar like Marvin Harrison, or trading back and getting a bunch of value. Because I think you get multiple later first, seconds, first next year. And the Patriots, let's face it, they're probably not in the competition realm this year. So maybe that's not a bad play if you can load up for the future.
It'd be so funny if they picked JJ McCarthy.
Yeah, I know.
That would be
Uh,
like literally repeating
JJ
Mac Jones'
McCarthy is gonna
team.
be a
yeah,
he. JJ
that's a
McCarthy
good
is gonna be a
comparison.
Seahawk. He's gonna be a Seahawk or a Saint. He's gonna go
That'd be
later
a
in the
good.
draft.
That'd be a good spot for him in the Seattle or
Vegas.
yeah. But obviously, the big headline in the NFL world that broke the news today on Wednesday: Houston Texans have acquired wide receiver Stephon Diggs from the Buffalo Bills in exchange for draft compensation. I think it did come up that it was a second round pick next year, going back to Buffalo, but Houston also getting a fifth and a sixth this year, next year. I can't remember exactly how it all went, but Buffalo getting a second rounder next year, Houston getting an All Pro wide receiver. Carries a big salary cap, so that's kind of what Buffalo was looking to do there. Move on from some money, rebuild that. We saw a lot of these subtractions that they've made this offseason. But how far you think this Texans team goes? Coming off a wild card win with a rookie CJ Stroud, arguably, he was in the MVP conversation last year. They go get him another true number one receiver, Stephon Diggs, Nico Collins, Tank Dell. Tank Dell coming off an injury, so it's going to be interesting to see how he bounces back from that. But I think this team is bound to go back to the divisional round at least.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, that division's there for the taking. I've been tooting their horn honestly since the beginning of off-season free agency. They've been making all the right moves. Yeah, they have the headliners like Mixon. Now they just brought in Diggs, which seems like for nothing in that trade they gave up, especially a team that has a lot of that cap and can absorb them. But they still had that core already. They had Dalton Schultz, they had Nico Collins, they have Tank Dell. They added to the defensive side of the ball heavily, and now you get Stephon Diggs. I know he's a prima donna, bit of a head case, but on the field, when he's playing up to his potential, playing his game, he's a top 7, top 10 receiver in the NFL, a game changer nonetheless. I like him bringing in with Mixon. Stroud's going to show off that flashy arm and skill set he has with Diggs. I expect a big day there. But I think this is a smart move by the Bills. I don't know about you guys. They shed more cap. They got some picks. They were already in the penalty coming into the offseason. They got guys like Micah Hyde out the door, Jordan Poyer, now Stephon Diggs. I saw Diggs's tweet. I don't know if you did, Mackie, about saying, "Oh, he needed me." Essentially, Josh Allen needed Diggs to be good. I think Josh Allen's will be fine just without him. But I don't know. Give me your thoughts on this move for both the Bills and the Texans.
I think Josh Allen will be just fine. I'm not huge on Stephon Diggs. I don't think he touches top 7 receivers in the league, and his attitude that he brings with it doesn't help him at all. That being said, obviously you're adding this guy to your roster is obviously a huge addition. Um, but Houston's in a pretty weak division, and the Jaguars don't seem to be figuring it out anytime soon. That's really their only competition, if you even want to call it. So you could say that they're pretty much a lock for the division next year. So I think that yeah, they can definitely get back to where they were last year, probably even further. They should get further. This Texans team with another year experience is just getting older, just getting better. I think that they could be even content. I'm not going to say contenders this year, but they can definitely get deep in that AFC.
Yeah, I mean the AFC is kind of wide open behind. You have the Chiefs and then those AFC North teams that beat each other up throughout the season. Pretty wide open behind it. You got the Dolphins and the Jets fighting too, but the Texans have added everywhere. They showed glimpses, and what do you need to really get it done? Is that premier quarterback at least to have a fighting chance? Stroud showed in his rookie season. Could we see a sophomore slump? That's the one thing I'm worrying because that
Yeah.
happens to everybody, even the best of us. But he's
Do you
poised
think
for
that they
success with everything around.
do you think that they over succeeded last year, or do you think think
I
that
do
team's
think they
actually
over succeeded last year with that roster. But with the roster they've put together in this offseason, pre-draft even, because they're going to get more bodies, right? Is going to be a much higher expectation. Like that would be realistic. I think their expectation now with this roster is minimum one playoff and the division title.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I don't know. I said I think obviously the Texans made some great additions this offseason. I also think the Jaguars made some good moves. Not as good as Houston. They brought in a couple nice pieces. Go get Trevor Lawrence, another receiver, and Gabe Davis, another Buffalo Bills wide receiver. That big play. Lawrence has that big
Replacing
arm to get him
Ridley.
the ball there. Yeah, I mean exactly. He's going to Tennessee. I kind of I don't hate this Jaguars team, but I
Me neither.
definitely think that this Texans team is the favorite to win the division. I just think you're going to have a lot of people jumping on this. I posted that poll today. Do they win the division? I think we got 30 some votes. I think 96% of people said yes. So I can only imagine the rest of America's feeling the same way. It's going to be interesting. They're definitely a great roster. They bring in Joe Mixon. They have another year with Stroud. Like you said, that the sophomore slump would be the only thing to scare me with Stroud. But the way he looked last year, there's no reason to think that that's going to happen. But speaking of the Bills, go ahead.
I think you could see. I think you'll see them at -250 to win the division before the season starts.
I don't
It's
know about that low. I don't
plus
know about
135 right now
Yeah,
after
the,
the
the
Diggs
Jaguars are
trade.
the Jaguars are a valiant opponent, and the Colts are on the up and up. Also, we kind of tooted their horn with some of the moves they made this offseason. I liked what they've been doing out there. Retaining Pittman was massive too. It's just the Richardson injury factor. I'm still not sold on the Texans defense. I need to see a lot more. Yes, they have young playmakers that were high draft picks. Yes, they brought in. I talked about all the depth they brought in, but that's what it is. It's just depth. There's no huge names on the defensive side of the ball. It takes a full team to win. I like what they're doing there. Everybody's drinking the CJ Stroud Kool-Aid. I mean, the free agents, the ownership, the media, us, like everybody's buying in on the Texans. They're loading it up for a deep run. So, table set, they just got to eat.
Yeah, I checked that as soon as the Diggs thing was announced on DraftKings. I saw you could get him at plus 135. And if it's live, that means they knew Stephon Diggs was already a Houston Texan. So,
So what are the
yeah,
Jags?
plus 200.
Damn,
And
that's
Would you be
so they're like
surprised if the Texans are
do
negative
the
going into
Texans,
the regular season?
the
yeah.
Jags
I
made
mean,
some
I
nice
figured that they
additions this
would be.
offseason.
I didn't. I mean, they're giving the Colts a lot of respect too. They won 9 games last year. I'm not saying they don't deserve it, but I don't know. I just think that the Texans had a pretty slow start. That's the only reason they ended 10-7. That team by the end of the season was definitely one of the most scary teams in the league.
Let's see what this coach can do too. Did he win
This
coach
is
of the year or
kind
was
of
up
like
for it? That too. I mean,
it,
if they falter, is that his fault now? He has the roster put together. Last year he did it with the weak team. Now you have all the pieces. There's no excuses this time
this is kind of like the same thing as the Jaguars last year, who made
around.
that run. But Jaguars probably -180 before the season last year to win the division.
Well,
This is
that's
kind of the same
a bunch
scenario.
of rookie quarterback. It's not rookie quarterbacks now. You know what you got in the Colts and Jaguars.
Yeah. But yes, like I
I mean,
said,
not really.
speaking of some of these moves that Buffalo made, officially has moved on from some staples of their franchise over the past couple of seasons. Subtractions include Stephon Diggs that we just talked about, Jordan Poyer, Tre'Davious White, Mitch Morse, Gabe Davis, Leonard Floyd, to name a few, going out to the San Francisco 49ers. I think I walked away when you guys were talking about this, but do you think, is Buffalo still
A
the same
contender?
expectation? Yeah, are they contending, or are they
I
gonna?
think
Is this
so.
gonna be a quick
Josh
rebuild,
Allen's always going to be in contention, in my opinion.
Mackie?
I mean, at one point last year, they were under 500, like 13 games into the season.
And they just lost four of
I
their five best players.
They
here's what I'm
lost
gonna
so
say.
much
I would not be
experience.
surprised if they were not a playoff team next year. But then again, you have Josh Allen, and that team's still no slouch. So I mean,
Mackie, I
I
feel
could
like
see
you're
them
the
in the
biggest
playoffs.
Josh Allen critic ever, because everyone know with all the interceptions, everyone always points a finger at Dak, but never Josh Allen.
No, I just like to bring light to the fact that Josh Allen is the same quarterback as Dak Prescott, and Josh Allen is looked at as a top 3 quarterback in the league. And
But
you know, I said
he
that a lot,
shows
but
much. He shows glimpses of much more. I think if you see Josh Allen in the playoffs, that's not as easy as a task as seeing a team with a mid-tier quarterback at the best.
Josh Allen gets the job done at the end of the day. He really does. Like, the last 4 games of that season last year, he needed to win every single one of them.
And he
Got the
did.
job done, and he got into the playoffs as a home team too. He got to play a home playoff game. Um, he gets the job done. I mean, I think that uh, he's a winner.
I think that
I wouldn't be surprised to see them in the playoffs.
the draft
But the
stock
Jets are getting better
raises too.
now. Jets are getting better now. Dolphins are getting better. It's a tough division. It's a tough AFC. I wouldn't like.
Dolphins and Jets. The jury's still out in my opinion on them. They haven't shown us anything that's too
That's just the New
believable.
England and you talking.
I don't know. You think Tua Tagovailoa is a threat? I don't.
No, but the Dolphins are gonna be 11-5 next year, 11-6.
Yeah, they'll be a playoff team, but they're an easy bounce in the first round.
They have a
Yeah, but
home.
I'm
Huff's,
They have a
saying
home
Huff's
game this
Steelers
year.
would be licking their chops to see them as a wild card in the first round next year.
I don't
I
know
Compared,
wouldn't have
about
been
that.
scared to go to Miami this year. That's what I wanted us to get. I wanted Miami to win that division because we had to go play the Bills. I would have much rather went to Miami.
especially compared to teams like the Ravens, the Chiefs, I I think you maybe put them over the Texans for now until we see more. But The Ravens and the Chiefs, that's the upper echelon of the AFC. But back to this Bills team, I'm excited to see Dalton Kincaid really flourish in this offense next year. And you know what, Mackie, we've been talking about this the whole draft, or the whole time about the draft, is this is a wide receiver heavy draft. There's going to be a wide receiver, maybe taken in the second round with that Stephon Diggs pick that they just got back. That's going to turn into a top notch wide receiver in Buffalo. Mark my words.
The picks next year.
Is it?
Yeah, it's a 2025.
That's tough. I was gonna say I should have looked at that one a bit more, but still, I think they're gonna have an early 1 through 3 round pick that's gonna be a top receiver for them.
Yeah. But couple free agents still on the board out there for NFL teams. J.K. Dobbins coming off an injury. Zeke Elliott, Michael Thomas, Odell, Logan Thomas, Bakhtiari. Didn't Bakhtiari retire?
No, I thought he retired, but he just he
Didn't
wasn't
Xavier
going back.
Howard sign with the Rams, or am I crazy? Someone fact check me on that. I think
Yeah,
he
I'm
signed with the
fact-checking
Rams
right now.
2 days ago. A few days ago.
It says he's a free agent.
Okay. Maybe I mix that up with someone else. Xavier Howard, Jamal Adams, Micah Hyde, yeah, Justin Simmons. That was surprising me. I thought he was going to get snagged up pretty quick. I definitely think most of those guys will end up on rosters, especially the last few names. But who kind of jumps off that list to you? Mine would have to be. I thought Justin Simmons would be signed almost immediately from being cut.
Mackie, you
Yeah,
want to know something that's
definitely.
not too marquee? Besides the Justin Simmons ones, that's much more impactful than what I'm about to say. But as a Dallas Cowboys fan, as a follower, and as a fan favorite, I think that the Dallas Cowboys and Ezekiel Elliott have a reunion.
I think I'd rather go with J.K. Dobbins, to be honest. I really don't want. I think that just
Zeke looked good
them
last year.
trying to bring Zeke back is just asking for just the greatest
You
ending
don't want to
ever.
be criticized up because of it.
No, I
But the
feel
thing
like they're
is,
just looking for too much out of it, and it's just
no, but you'd
not.
get him cheap. You'd get him cheap on $1 million deal, right? And the
That's
other thing is J.K. Dobb. He's not gonna. I wouldn't even. I mean, you could
You
bring
could
him
get
in.
both of those guys.
It's what I'm saying. But I'd bring Zeke back on a very cheap deal to be at least my 2. That's what I'd definitely bring him back, is to be the 2. That would be ideal. On a $1 million deal, that makes too much sense. The way he's been playing too, solid. Especially if you want to get J.K. Dobbins, you need an insurance policy like Ezekiel Elliott, who's out there every snap.
Yeah, because we have literally nobody in our running back room right now. We have Deuce Vaughn.
That's what I'm saying. You don't think they're going to bring in Zeke for a $1 million deal, 1 year deal,
There's
something like that?
talks of it. There's talks of it.
Would you'd
I
be
wouldn't be
mad? He looked
mad. I
good.
just feel like I don't know. I feel like they'd be like, this is the perfect ending or the perfect story. Get him back in Dallas, and he's not gonna come in here and just
Losing
do
the
what he
wild
used
card
to
round
do.
again.
No, but you know what'd be
Yeah,
sick though, Mackie, is when
yeah.
those
Get
Cowboys are
ran
eating.
wild card round.
When those Cowboys are eating and they're like 6-1, 7-1, something like that, and they have Ezekiel Elliott all over the TV with the Dak Prescott, the vibes are going to be up there in Dallas. I think it makes too much sense not to bring him back.
Yeah, the vibes are gonna be up just to lose the first round of playoffs again.
Hey, if
Sick.
I were you, I would just be excited about that. Didn't you bring in Eric Kendricks?
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
that's the move I
also
like.
Their first signing of the offseason.
No, that's a big move
who
though. He's
hasn't
going to tie together that
yeah, he
defense.
hasn't been good since 2017.
But you
He's
need
old,
someone leading
man.
the
The guy on the
defense in the middle of the
Vikings?
field.
Is that the guy on the
See,
Vikings?
exactly. He just said the guy from the Vikings. He's like,
He's
he
on the
hasn't
Chargers.
played with the Vikings in 4 years. Because he was good on the
But
Vikings.
still, he's veteran leadership. That's a good under the radar signing for a team that doesn't have much room to wiggle.
I knew you were gonna say that, Huff. I knew it. I was waiting for it because it was
Mackie,
a perfect
I'm
example of why I don't
surprised
even
you're so
want him.
negative. I'm surprised you're so
Because
negative.
we had it's things like this. You know how hard it is to be a Cowboys fan.
Mackie
We
also-
could have got Derrick Henry. We could have got Derrick Henry. How do you not reach out?
No, they're not getting Derrick Henry. You know what contracts they have to pay.
You understand that we are all in right now. Dak's contract is up next year. He's if he doesn't get past the first round again,
Regardless of Dak, I'm not worried about Dak.
you gotta be all in.
I'm
You gotta
worried
be all-
about CeeDee Lamb. I'm worried about Micah Parsons. I'm worried about those guys that are actually the best players on
No,
your team.
I
Listen,
know what
man, we have a
Mackie's saying,
top
Mackie.
we
Keep
have
going.
a top 3 roster in the NFL right now. It's not going to be that way for another 5 years. We have 1 to 2 years left of it. Probably only 1 year now. Do something with it. Go all in.
I
What
don't
are the
think so.
Cowboys draft? Here's what I want to say. What draft picks do the Cowboys have this year?
I have no idea. I don't pay attention to that shit.
Mackie's football takes get so astray when you bring up the Dallas Cowboys. It's like a trigger in the brain.
It's
Mackie, look up what picks they have this year. Because like we were saying, they're all in. This is a draft. Of all teams. If you're saying the top 3 roster, money's an issue going forward. This is a draft the Cowboys have to nail.
Yeah, you
They
get it.
didn't make many. They didn't make many offseason moves. They didn't bring in many guys.
You don't
in
even
free
have a
agency. They
first
have-
round draft pick.
Yeah, but do you have what else do you have?
Who'd you
though?
trade that for?
I have no idea. We have second round 24th pick, third round 23rd pick,
Yeah,
fifth
so
round
second
You
and
don't pick
third.
till like 54th.
Yeah, but you can still get a good running
56,
back in that spot.
56, and then 87th, 174, 216.
That's tough.
But still,
You
I
think they
think that's
draft a
why.
quarterback?
No way.
What?
You think they draft a
No,
quarterback at
no,
some point in
no.
there?
They got
We
Trey
won't draft
Lance.
a quarterback. We have Trey. Yeah, exactly. No, that's actually kind of cool though because now that we have Trey Lance, we're gonna have a decision by the end of the year on Dak. So we can either get rid of Dak and have Trey Lance, or we can just be like, all right, here we can ship Trey Lance off. Dak just did good.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's a lot. But let's not talk about the Cowboys. Not too interesting. A lot of other names out there. No, no, it's not in the
That's
offseason.
crazy.
No, not in the offseason because you know in the regular you know exactly what you're gonna get with the Dallas Cowboys.
Delivery was so good.
You know exactly what you're gonna get with them. They haven't changed much, and they're gonna be a powerhouse in this league once again.
They've
Mackey
been
should
trying
be
to
more
stay.
optimistic about it and excited about feeding Zeke when he comes back home to Dallas and has a good season with this team. But I think some other free agents, like you said, Huff, a lot of great safeties out there. What Poyer, Hyde, Simmons. You said, is Trey White still on the block? I mean, I can't believe all these veterans are waiting to get scooped up. Maybe they'll be after the draft or closer to training camp, and people will be sending out these deals. But I can't believe a lot of these guys are still out there.
Nobody wants these old heads. OBJ, who the hell wants OBJ?
Yeah,
I
right.
saw that same list of guys, and someone was like, "If you
Kansas
would have
City.
showed me this list in 2018 and told me all these guys are available, I'd be like, holy shit, that's a Pro Bowl roster, all
Right.
sitting in free agency."
On the
Actually, yeah.
defensive side of the ball, it is though. Those guys are still good.
Oh yeah,
Bakhtiari,
except Jamal Adams. That's a good list of defensive guys.
I take
I
Jamal
would not want
Adams.
Jamal Adams. I would not want.
not
Jamal
Well,
right
Adams.
now,
I take
no.
Jamal
In
Adams because
2018, you
the
would.
way we'd play him, I just put him in the box the whole time.
That's what you have to do. But he's not a safety, and he doesn't. He acts, and he always wants to be listed as a safety. Like he's annoying. Like he
He's
needs to just
annoying.
transition to a fucking box linebacker. Like you
He's
said.
what all of the linebackers aspire to be nowadays, like the young
Yeah,
ones.
yeah. But all right, we'll transition over into the NHL where we had our power rankings for this week as well as some other headlines. Power rankings coming in: Ace, your Bruins number 5, Colorado Avalanche at number 4, the Carolina Hurricanes at number 3, and the Dallas Stars at number 2, with Mackey's New York Rangers rounding out our top 5 at the number 1 spot. I'll kind of let you two kind of get going on this. Ace, your Bruins slide back in here. Were they out last week? I can't
Yeah,
remember
and I told
exactly
you
who they
they'd
played.
be right back in, and they were. And then what they do? They put up a 3-0 shutout over one of the hottest teams in the NHL. Cool them right down before they get there. Make them know that once they see the playoffs, they're going to run into a real team and get knocked out in the first round. The Bruins are here. Linus Ullmark is back, and he's playing well. But this NHL, the Eastern Conference, is so tight. The Atlantic, the powerhouse that it is, they have the only wild card team that's valid. They have the top 2 teams in the East. Mackey's team leading the Metro there. They could be talked about as a top team in the East as well. And I think the Hurricanes are right there with them. I view the Hurricanes and the Rangers the same level personally. But Rangers really doing their thing to solidify that top Metro spot. I think they've got it on lock. Bruins and Panthers, we'll see how that shakes out. I mean, we grabbed another 2 last night, so that first place in the East wide open up for grabs. But I think it's more interesting to look at the bottom half of these standings. I know we're getting to the next point here. We just went through the power rankings, but we've kind of beat these top teams to death. Huff, your Pittsburgh Penguins back in the mix. How are you feeling?
I mean,
The
they're
race,
definitely on a
the
nice little
playoff
streak.
picture race is sick right now. I'm not even gonna lie. Like those like 4 or 5 teams,
hmm
it's electric.
It's not 5. I hate how they put the Lightning in the graphic, but not the
No,
Flyers. When I've been looking at it, it's like the Lightning are locked into the playoffs. The Flyers are the team that's going to fall out, and it's either the
well, that's
Caps,
what I
the
was actually
Wings.
talking about. The Flyers, not even the Lightning. The
Yeah,
Flyers are right in the mix of that one.
yeah. Who do you think it's going to be though? Caps. There's 2 spots up for grabs. You got the Flyers, the Caps, the Wings, and the Penguins, right?
Yeah, I think the Penguins. That's a season-ending game against the Capitals on
Capitals
Thursday. If
tomorrow
you
night.
lose it, if you lose that game, your season's over.
If they win
Yeah.
I
it, they're
think
literally
if they
right
win it,
in the.
you're right there. If you win it, I think they have a good chance of getting right back in, especially the way Crosby's playing right now. They
The
have a lot of momentum.
goaltending woes though, Huff. I don't know who's playing
It's been
goalie.
it's been the Delkovich the past couple of games, and they've been
He played
hot.
well. He played well against the Rangers. He played really well actually,
Yeah,
and he got a
and
win.
but the Flyers, I mean, Arison Mackey, you and I were texting on the side the other day. The gas falling out of the tank for Samuel Arison. Now they have Ivan Fedotov coming over, the 6'7", 6'8" goalie. Do you think he's gonna see any action? Yeah, I know we saw some relief action the other day, but you think he gets a start here soon?
I think he does, but the Flyers are on a 5-game losing streak right now. They have a few winnable games coming up against the Sabres, Jackets, and Canadians. You got to win all 3 of those, and then you have the Rangers, Devils, Capitals. So I think the Flyers actually fall out. I think that they're playing terrible hockey right now, and I mean, if
That
you can't
schedule
turn it,
sounds very inviting, though. They should be favored in 5 of those
What two
last
te-
6.
what 2 teams do you think you're going to get in? If you think the Lightning are locked in at that wild
Caps.
card 1,
Caps
who,
take
I
it.
who so who gets
I
the
think the
3 spot
Caps
in the
get
Metro?
I think the Caps get the 3, and the Red Wings get the last playoff spot, last
I
wild
think the
Who
card
the
spot.
Red Wings
Flyers
have
I
left
think the
to go?
Flyers might snag the last seed just because of the friendly schedule down the stretch.
I don't know. Red Wings have a pretty, or is this the Red Wings? Or is this the Capitals?
Capitals have a pretty tough schedule. They have like
Yeah.
3 tough ass games. Red Wings
Oh,
have
the Islanders. We're not talking about the Islanders. That's my
Islanders are not
dark
making
horse.
it.
Yeah,
Islanders
I
are
What?
not
just don't think
The
making
the
it.
Islanders.
Islanders are the best team out of all of those bubble teams. Ilya
I
Sorokin, a
disagree.
big reason.
I
Matthew
think
Barzal,
Sorokin.
he's the best goalie in
I
that group by far.
They
By
Yeah,
all
far.
have
I
such
definitely
crucial
best goalie.
games. They all play each other. The Isles play the Penguins the last game of the season. I mean, that's huge. Isles got to play the Rangers
Huff,
twice
didn't we
more. I
see
think
the Isles just do this exact thing a few years ago when they went on a nice little streak and then they beat your Penguins in that first round? They went into the playoffs hot. They have the goaltender to do it.
I
And
mean, that was literally Sorokin stole that whole
is that the
series.
only team out of this mix that could go on a little run if they got hot? I think so. I don't see
I
the
don't think
Capitals.
I
I
don't
don't
I
see
think
don't
the
see the
any.
Capitals,
I don't,
Penguins, Flyers, and Wings. I don't see any of them
None of them are
going on a
going on
run.
a run. I don't think. I
No.
don't think any of them
The
are going on
Isles
a
are
run.
the most dangerous team in that bunch.
I don't think the Isles go on a run either. The
But
Isles
they
don't
have the
have the depth. They don't have the supporting lines.
but they have the defensemen and goaltending, and when it gets to playoff hockey and it's a tight game and the way those Islanders play, that's the recipe. What if you got Islanders Rangers first round? That would be something.
Yeah, I don't really think it'd be a problem though.
You don't think it'd be what?
I don't think it'd be a problem. I think we'd take care of
Would
them.
you
I don't
rather
think it'd be.
would you rather I don't know. I'm not gonna
Anybody
See,
or
the
the
difference about
Islanders?
this Rangers team, the difference about this Rangers team is they find ways to win games. They have 50 wins on the
They're
season.
just a
Nobody's even
better
talked about that.
team. They're
They find ways to win games. Even though a lot of the games are very close, they win all these 1-goal games, these 2-goal games.
It's
They're on
felt
top
like
of every
playoff
single
hockey
one.
though the last few weeks. I don't know about you though. When I've been watching, especially this week, every game so tight, close to the vest, especially between these
Everyone
playoff
matters
teams.
so much. All these points are so important. I mean, this race is going to be these last 7 games are going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, for
I
sure.
agree.
And the East is just heating up. I think my pick right here is going to be the Caps and the Isles. Caps in the 3, Isles in the 8. Hoff, give us your official prediction on the Metro 3 and that wild card 8 to round out the Eastern Conference playoffs.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna say my Penguins can make it
Me
just because
too.
I can. But that like Mackie said, that game tomorrow against Capitals is do or die.
You think if
Um,
you lose that, you're done?
Yeah.
who's the Capitals
But it's
schedule?
a
That looks pretty
4-point
tough
swing.
too. They immediately go to Carolina, home against the Senators. That's a win. In Detroit, that's a fluke game that Detroit needs to
That's a
win.
massive game. That's a
Yeah,
massive
like
game.
that's what I mean. And then Buffalo, I mean, Buffalo's out of it, but that's
Buffalo
another one. They're
sucks.
not
But no, they're not. They're
Lightning.
pesky. They're
They,
pesky.
That's a game.
the
That's a
Capitals
game you have
end
to
with
handle.
Tampa Bay, Boston, Philly.
Oh, you guys have a tough schedule.
That's why I like. What's the Isle schedule down the stretch?
Oh
Hoff,
wait,
just
you
in
just say the
case?
Capitals end with that?
Yeah.
I
They
like
have
the
a tough
Flyers
schedule.
schedule, Mackie. I like the Flyers schedule to finish it out. They only have one solidified playoff team in that group.
I like the
Flyers
Red
play
Wings. Red Wings only have the Leafs and they play the Rangers.
Yeah, the Flyers just have the Rangers.
Flyers also only have 6 games to go. So that
Yeah,
everyone else has a
these
game on
games
the
in
Flyers.
hand. Yeah.
Yeah.
Caps have 2 games on them. Caps have a game on
What's the
on
Isles
everyone.
looking like though? I'm telling you, that's the team.
Isles play the Rangers twice.
Isles
And they
have 6 games left, 7 games left. And
Predators.
it's Columbus, Nashville, Rangers, Canadians, Rangers, Devils, Penguins.
Oh, it's friendly.
That's not friendly. Those are
You only have
crucial
2 good
games.
games.
Every single team they play is fighting for something, except for the Canadians
And the
No,
Blue
and
Jackets.
Blue Jackets,
and the Blue
Canadians, and
Jackets.
Devils.
Devils are fighting for something.
No, they're not.
They might not be at that point, but the Penguins. You got to play the Rangers twice. The Predators, the hottest team in the NHL.
No, they just lost 3 in a row though.
I thought that was the first. Oh,
No, we kind of stamped it
maybe
by
they're slowing down.
yeah. That's what I'm saying too. Saros has been getting overworked, but even last night it was all him. They got shut out 3-0. Let's talk about that
Linus
Western.
Allmark played a great game last night.
Yeah, and that's why he won a Vezina Trophy last year. But we've given a lot of talk to the Eastern Conference. Huff, we should go into this Western Conference a bit. I think all 8 teams are locked in right now. I think you have that list in front of you, right?
Yeah, I think this is basically how it's going to go. 1, 2, 3 in the Central. This is how it is. 1, 2, 3 in the Central. Dallas, Colorado, Winnipeg. 1 through 3 in the Pacific. Vancouver, Edmonton, Vegas slid up there over the past couple of weeks, and then the wild card 1 is still Nashville with LA right behind them. 3 points behind with a game in hand on Nashville. I do think those are the 2 wild card teams in the West. I
Yeah,
think the
it's a
West
lot.
is locked in.
Yeah, but talking about one of those teams, you want to know something that's already happened, and it was because of a Thatcher Demko injury. But the Vancouver Canucks have fallen off. I think they're going to lose again tonight to an Arizona Coyotes team that's already been bounced from the playoffs. I have them on the money line on my personal card, but their goaltending woes, DeSmith getting pulled last night. This team isn't built for this type of success. They haven't seen it before. Maybe next year, but this is when playoff hockey starts being played, and the Vancouver Canucks have not lived up to the moment yet.
I agree.
And that's tough
I
to
agree.
say.
I don't think they're a threat, but we can entertain this Kings Blues this last wild card spot. It's a
You think?
3 point. I mean, let's entertain it just for the sake of it. Blues are 3 points back, and the Kings have a game in hand.
So they're 5.
Blues, yeah, yeah. Blues have Predators, Sharks, Ducks, Blackhawks, Hurricanes, Kraken, Stars.
It got tough there at the end.
They have 3 like almost like gimmies. They
Yeah,
play like the 3 worst teams in the league.
but they could lose to the Blackhawks. It's a rivalry. Knock them out of the playoffs. Dagger.
Yeah, yeah. Hurricanes, Stars is tough.
Even the Krakens, they had an off year, I think. I think that team will be back to the playoffs
Things are
next
playing
year.
bad though. They're on a 3-game losing streak. They got to play the Canucks in 2 games. Yeah, they have a really easy schedule.
Yeah,
Wow.
they're gonna be there. The Los Angeles Kings have too much talent not to be. The St. Louis Blues aren't ready for it. Jake Neighbors, though, I like him on that Blues team. He's kind of stepped in the right. I know they got Thomas and Binner and a few other guys, but he's kind of jumped onto the scene. The Edmonton Oilers, though, I think that's the team to watch out for in the West. Stuart Skinner starting to play good hockey. I know they lost last night. Vegas Golden Knights too. They're gonna get in at like a 3 seed, maybe a wild card. Could jump even higher if they play well, but with all those guys coming off the IR, they smacked those Canucks that I speak illy of. They smoked them last night. I think that's going to be a scary team too. And then you have the
They're
Avs as well.
Yeah, they're definitely a team to watch out west with who they have coming back. Who is it? Stone is Eichel playing right now, or is he still coming back?
He's playing right now.
That's what. And then
Petrangelo just came back, but
Petrangelo's
it's
that was the one that I was waiting
Stone
on.
and Hurdle. They're
Yeah,
both on the IR.
I mean that's going to be interesting seeing that full lineup because we're really yet to see them with all those additions they made at the
Literally,
deadline.
yeah,
So
the Hurdle move. Like, I want to see what Hurdle looks like on this team. That team's going to be great to watch. We could get some great series though. Imagine you get Edmonton, Winnipeg. That'd be a good one. Dallas and Winnipeg. Um, and then Vegas maybe playing Colorado. That would be something cool to see. But Colorado's probably gonna get that 1 seed, right?
Right now we have Vegas versus the Oilers in the first round.
That's fire.
yeah,
If
that's a
the
really good
season
matchup.
ended
And
today.
what about on the other
Right,
side? Is it Winnipeg and Vancouver or Winnipeg and Dallas?
Winnipeg and the Avalanche,
Oh,
and then it's Predators, Canucks, and then Stars, Kings. And in the East right now, this would be awesome. I would love these playoff series right now. It's Bruins, Lightning, Panthers, Leafs, Rangers, Caps, Hurricanes, Flyers.
yeah. You want to retain that 1 seed so bad, don't you? We're
Yeah,
coming
of course
for
I
it.
do.
We're
Yeah,
coming
of
for it.
course. Yeah, we have a game on you though, so
Yeah,
we
but
need
I
to win
heard
tonight.
But did you hear the Rangers? Like, they were mentioned a lot in those playoff hungry Eastern Conference teams. You got to play a lot of teams that are fighting for their life.
Yeah, yeah, we'll
No
see.
easy, no easy
I
challenges.
trust
You have
them. Like I
a lot.
said, they find ways to get wins.
Mackie, this might be a good bet. Within the next 3 games, you should go to overtime in the Rangers next 3. I bet you they go at least once, or maybe against some of those Eastern Conference play or pushing teams. You know, they're gonna go to OT. Teams are gonna draw them out just to grab a point.
I'm just gonna do that for the Bruins every single game. Huff, we didn't remember the live stream that I said it was gonna go to overtime against the Caps. It went to a shootout.
Yeah,
Every time, man.
Oh, that was so
Bruins
that
Canes
was
tomorrow. Bruins
Yeah,
Canes
I remember
tomorrow.
I
I
said the under.
guarantee you. Bruins Canes tomorrow. I guarantee you that game goes to overtime.
and if you watch that Bruins Caps games too, the Bruins were kicking their ass, but the Caps literally wanted a point so bad they were just trying to hang on for dear life. They kept flipping out of the zone, but that's what you got. That's what it takes every point. Like you've said it, and it's gonna be true. We're gonna be saying it for the next week. Every point
Huff, you see Pens are favored tomorrow in Washington?
Yeah, I did see that.
Wow.
That's got to be the 2-game win streak. And what? I mean, I know we lost to Columbus in overtime, but we're on a little point streak. I think we've gotten points in 5 of our last 6,
I have no idea.
if
looks
not
like
more.
looks like you guys are gonna have to get back down to the you and Jess are
5
gonna get it
straight.
back down to the
6 straight,
Penguins
Huff.
stadium and watch some of these games if they can get in.
What is their last 10? They're 5,
5,
3,
3,
and
and
2.
2, but they're 6 straight with points. They've gotten points in 6
That's
straight
what I
games.
thought. Okay.
4 wins and 2 overtime losses.
Yeah,
You
I
guys
definitely
lost to
think
the
it's good.
Jackets. That was tough.
In overtime.
Yeah,
We
you got
got the
the point.
loser point. And it was on a back-to-back, home and home. You know how that shit always happens in the NHL. It's
Yeah, it
hard to beat the
was.
same team 2 nights
That's
in a row.
tough.
Well, not two, there was a night in between. They played Thursday and then Saturday. But yeah, we'll jump over to the NBA. NBA playoffs getting underway April 20th, so just under 3 weeks away from that, as we are now officially into April. So March Madness ending, coming to the end of the NBA regular season. We're going to look at our power rankings right now before we look ahead at some of these NBA standings as well. Number 5, still the Minnesota Timberwolves. Number 4, the Milwaukee Bucks. Number 3, Oklahoma City Thunder. Number 2, the Denver Nuggets. And number 1, the Boston Celtics. I said it today on my video that I posted. I don't think it got out on Instagram yet. I just noticed that like 5 minutes ago, so it's everywhere else. But I did say this. I don't know if you guys saw this. The team I'd be worried about right now is these Milwaukee Bucks. 5-5 in their last 10. They just lost a game to the Washington Wizards. Now I know everyone takes nights off in the NBA. I'm looking more long term. I don't, as much as I did going into this year, I don't trust this team to go on a run like I did before. I truly think AC or Celtics would handle them. Probably 6 games right now. The way the Bucks are playing.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a team to worry about. We have a note getting to later. I think a team like that could take them out if they're underdogs. I'll prelude a little bit. It's the Philadelphia 76ers if they get the right matchup there. New York Knicks could be pesky. Miami Heat, if they can get out of the play-in tournament, can also be pesky. I think Giannis has been doing his thing. You're talking about them losing. I had them actually last night in a heavy favorites parlay. They were the ones that cost me. I can't remember who it was they lost to. Somebody bad, but
Wizards.
yeah, it was the Wizards. They lost by 3 points. Giannis had a triple double with over 30 points. So he's been doing his thing, but the team around them hasn't been producing. I am a bit worried about these Bucks, but they have no pressure riding on them. That might be good for them in the playoffs. Might
Because
not
they've
be.
already done it. Yeah.
Everybody's talking about the Celtics. Everybody's talking about the Celtics. Worried about the Sixers and the Heat, and they're kind of just overshadowing the Bucks right now. Everybody expects them to get to the Eastern Conference Finals, but they could flop.
Yeah, I mean, I just respect this team because at the end of the day, like, if you were to see this team in the playoffs, you would be scared. No matter how bad they're playing, the roster is there, you would be scared. So, when you look at it that way, they are probably the top 5 scariest teams in the league, but the way they are playing, I could see them easily getting I mean, if they have to play the Heat in the first round, they could get bounced by the Heat, and I
Yeah.
wouldn't be surprised.
Or the
Yeah, same,
Sixers.
same here. I agree with both those takes.
Yeah, I guess the Sixers as well. But then again, you could see them even getting the 3 seed. Like, there's no easy matchup for them in the first round unless they see the Pacers. Then they
Or
can
someone crazy
There's a
comes out of
there's a
yeah.
scenario where I think you're better off with the 3 seed in the East than getting the winner of those playing games.
Well, right now, you would 1,000% rather play the Pacers than either the Heat or the Sixers in the first round.
Yeah.
So you'd rather the 3 seed at this moment.
unless
But
Tyrese
Cat.
Halliburton catches fire. I mean, we like to. You guys used to talk about them a lot. Imagine he catches the fire
even
he
when
once
he
had.
even when
He
he was
hasn't been
doing it, the
himself
Pacers weren't that
since that
scary.
in-season tournament. Yeah.
Literally. But they have Spicy P too. They could be sneaky. I don't expect much of them. I think they're first round exit too. I think they are the lightest matchup you can draw as a top half seed in the first round. I think this play-in tournament is going to be pretty good to watch. I do think the Heat are the team that can push out of it. The play-in tournament on the other side, much more interesting. I think the East still super top heavy. Sixers are going to make a push. I think the Celtics are the team to beat, and Bucks will always be there. Heat, they hang around. The Knicks and Cavs, they're middle of the road team. They'll win a round maybe. On the Western side, though, you have those experienced teams in the 7 through 10. Looks like it's going to be a great play-in tournament. But oh wait, the Houston Rockets are knocking on the door. to bounce out Steph Curry.
And
I don't.
play Golden State tomorrow night in Houston.
How massive is that? You guys have any
If
thoughts on this
Houston,
Houston team? Like, can they actually
I
get to the
think
play-in?
I think
they're
Houston could
3
get
out
in.
now. They're 3 out now with 7 games left.
They have
So,
a
I
nice
mean,
little home stretch here. Home against the Warriors, home against the Heat, in Dallas, home against the Magic.
here's the
In
thing.
Utah, the last 3 games in Utah, in Portland, in LA for the Clippers. I
It
think they
does
can make
not
a push
matter.
here.
It does not matter who they play on the road. They're 12-25 on the road. This team does not win games on the road. I don't know what it is. They're 26-12 at home and 12-25 on the road. So almost no matter who they play on the road, you got to look out. The Jazz, it's not an easy win. Mavs, you got to expect them to lose. Clippers, you got to expect them to lose. So they have to win these games. Well, first of all, that game against the Warriors tomorrow night is basically their
Massive.
season. If they lose that, they have no chance.
They're 4
But
games behind them. They're out of it.
even if they win, you have to beat the Heat at home. You have to beat the Magic at home. You have to take care of business at home, and then you have to win at least 2 on the road.
They have to beat
I-
Portland, and they have to win one other road game.
Yeah, and the only real one that they can win is the Jazz. They're not unless the Clippers aren't playing anyone in the last game of the season.
I was gonna say I could see the Clippers not be playing anyone that night.
But even so, I mean, the Rockets they cannot win game. I don't know what it is about this team, but the same team is not on the road as they are at home. The Warriors would have to just absolutely implode for this to happen at this point. But
I think
um,
so too. And imagine
I
these
think
playing games when the good teams are historically good teams are in the play-in tournament. That's gonna be must-watch TV. One game or go home for the Golden State Warriors. I'm excited to watch that.
I also think the Warriors are not getting out of that first playing game either. No matter who they play, if it's the Lakers, the Suns, maybe they can beat the
Kings.
Kings and the Kings, but
I don't know. The Kings are pretty good.
Kings are good. I've always thought the Kings are solid.
you can see the Kings get the 5 seed. That 5 through 8 is very close.
Yeah, you don't want to drop down to the play-in too with all the plethora of elite basketball players in that. I mean, Kevin Durant, LeBron James, and Steph Curry all in the play-in tournament. That's nuts.
Absolutely. Yeah, and like we said, back to the 76ers, and Embiid made his return to the lineup on Tuesday night, home game against the Oklahoma City Thunder, racking up 24, 6, and 7 on his return. Do you guys think the 76ers, do you think they end out in this play-in series? Can they catch the Pacers? What do you think is going to happen here?
I think they can catch the Pacers. I think Joel Embiid, wherever they land, you know they're going to make the playoffs. They're not falling out.
I think the Pacers drop into a play-in team, and the
because they
Sixers
truly
at 6.
are a playing team. Honestly, I know I was talking them
but
up a little bit, but even if they don't, I'm not worried
Mackie,
for
look at
these
the
Sixers.
76ers schedule. Look at the 76ers schedule.
Mac, I mean, Huff, are you worried about these Sixers at all? Though I'm not. Not saying
No,
I'm
you
worried
want
to
me to redo
play.
their game?
No, for them making the playoffs or even getting out of the play-in. Say they got into, so they stayed in the play-in. I'm not worried about them. They're going to get into the first round, and they're going to give a good series to whoever they play against.
Ace, listen to their last 6 games. In Miami, in Memphis, in San Antonio, home against Detroit, home against Orlando, home against Brooklyn.
So Miami is
listen,
their own. All those
They're
none of
only
those
playoff.
teams are none of those teams are playoff
None of those teams are
teams.
playoff teams.
Yeah.
They're play-in teams.
but here's the thing: they have 6 games left, and they are 2 games behind the Pacers. So they would.
Let's look at the
I mean,
Pacers.
there's
Let's look at the
not a
Pacers
lot of
schedule.
room. They play the Nets. They play at home against the Thunder, at home against the Heat, at the Raptors, at the Cavs, at home versus the Hawks.
Definitely a much tougher schedule.
I think so.
A much tougher schedule, but they'd have to go 1-5 for.
But with Embiid, if he plays in all
2-2
these,
and 2 and-
Embiid playing in all these
If the
games,
Sixers go
they could
6
win
and
out.
0,
They
Sixers
could
have
win
to go
out.
to Miami. Why are the Sixers going to beat Miami?
Right, that's a good point. Miami's not the
I think
easiest.
they could.
But Joel Embiid in the lineup, they should be able to take out all of those teams.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just
If
I
he
don't know.
plays
I
every
don't
game,
think
they'll have.
the Sixers
I
have a
don't-
very friendly
I
schedule.
think
It's just,
I agree with Mackie because of the short time of games. I think they're going to be
there's
the
not a lot
they're
of
gonna
time.
they're
There's
going to
no
be in the
time.
play-in game. That's fine though. I think that's one extra game for Embiid to get under his belt, and they'll be ready to go for the next round.
And I feel like for the past 2 months, everyone's just been waiting for Miami Heat to overpass the Pacers, and the Pacers are holding strong. I mean, they've been sitting in that 6th spot for a while, but they haven't gone anywhere. They haven't fell into that plane, and everyone's just waiting for them to. 6 games left. I think they'll hold on. They have they have a half a game on the Heat right now, but the Heat don't have as friendly a schedule as the Sixers do.
Yeah, I think Embiid's going to get back to his MVP ways down the stretch here.
Yeah. Then the last thing we have in the NBA, Rajon Rondo retired on Tuesday after 16 NBA seasons. And I'm not going to lie, I thought he retired, 3,
Yeah,
3 years ago.
we were all saying that in my group chats. We were like, he just
That
retired,
ring.
but yeah, he has what? Does he have 2 rings? Didn't he get one with the
I
Lakers
thought
too
he
in the
retired.
bubble?
Yeah,
I thought
he
he
got one in the
retired
bubble. Yeah,
after the
I thought he.
bubble. I thought he
That's what I
retired that
thought
year.
too.
He might have just been on the IR collecting some paychecks from Los Angeles because he was friends with LeBron James or something. But that guy, you think he's a Hall of Famer? I think he could be.
Yeah.
I
I
think
don't know.
he's
That's tough.
borderline. I wouldn't be mad if he got in.
Yeah, I
Yes.
wouldn't be mad if he got in, but I definitely could see them not because I don't know.
Where do you go in though? Celtics jersey, not Lakers. That's funny. They play for
Oh
both.
yeah, obviously Celtics,
He was a part of the
He was
big
also
three,
good
even
for
though he wasn't in the big three.
Pelicans,
he was good on the Mavericks too for those 2 years or a year.
Pels. Remember when he was in the Pels?
Yeah,
Yeah, I remember that.
he
Yeah, he's
bounced
been all
around.
over the place. He's had a pretty good career.
Yeah,
I
long
think
long career. First,
I think you could see him in there.
great passer.
Absolutely. We'll jump into the MLB. We had MLB opening day this past week. We'll start out with our power rankings. The number 5 spot, Arizona Diamondbacks. Number 4, Baltimore Orioles. Number 3, the Atlanta Braves. Number 2, the New York Yankees. And number 1, the Los Angeles Dodgers. So coming into this week, Ace, you're gonna give your explanation on it tomorrow. But let's hear what you have to say. Top 5 teams in the MLB and the power rankings coming in for April 4th. That's tomorrow, the day people are listening to this. What do we got?
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty cool that we got some series of our top 5 teams ranked. Right now, we have the Yankees and the Diamondbacks playing. They're in extra innings as we're recording. That's a great one. Orioles just got to have a rain delay. Too many rain delays early in the season. Terrible scheduling by the MLB, but deservedly there. That lineup is stacked. The pitching staff they put together, adding Corbin Burns too. I mean, come on. In that AL East, it's going to be great to see them in the Yankees matchup. Blue Jays and Rays valid too. Red Sox sticking around early. We have the Dodgers there. How can you not? I mean, Freeman, Otani, and Betts. Mookie Betts is insane. Mackie, I talked about Otani all offseason. You talked about Freddie Freeman, but it's Mookie Betts is the best
Yeah,
player
it
in
is
baseball
Mookie
right now.
Betts.
He
It
had
is.
more home runs than missed ball, like swings and misses going into yesterday. And I think he put another one out last night. But so much protection in that lineup. You're so worried about facing the other guys, and you have Mookie Betts batting leadoff. That team's just stacked. A lot of other teams, I mean, the Atlanta Braves, same reason. We've been watching them for the past 3 years now. They're a great roster. But we've had some great baseball here in the opening days. Huff really pushing to get his Pirates in, taking into account a hot start. I think he wants to get into some of that right now, though. Some of these notes about how good these Pittsburgh Pirates have been to date.
Absolutely, yeah, definitely. I think it was last year they had the hot start as well, so definitely hoping they can hold on to this, coming into further out or further down on the line. Starting the season 5-0. Them and the Yankees, the only teams to start the season 5-0. For the Pirates, first time since 1983. 4-over sweep in Miami. Miami looking terrible as they also just got swept to the Angels. And then they won their series opener on Washington with the day off yesterday. I just turned it on. They're about to do their first pitch at the second game of the series in Washington. I actually think this is a pretty decent line. This is the best Pirates lineup I've seen, probably since we made the playoffs in 2015. They're setting all these records, comparing them to that team. I mean, that team just won a wild card. I think they lost in the wild card. That was the year we lost to Bumgarner. But 2013 was the year they made the playoffs. This is the best team I've seen the Pirates field since then. They have Jared Jones in that starting
I like
rotation.
Jared
Mitch
Jones.
Keller. They're pitching and the bullpen on the back door. When you give the option to go to David Bednar, Chapman, or I think his name's Chris Stratton. I always forget his name. I always get him confused with the other kid that we used to have. But we have some of the best bullpen pitchers closing out these games, and we're 5-0 for a reason. Not playing the best competition, but we have a team coming to Pittsburgh this weekend for our home opener in our top 5 in the Baltimore Orioles, and I'm really excited to see that. I'm going there Saturday, so hopefully Pirates can extend this winning streak and get to this home opener 7-0. That'd be crazy.
Yeah, Huff, I don't think we can put these Pittsburgh Pirates in the power rankings until after that Orioles series. If they somehow win that series, let's go ahead, throw them right in. But if they lose the series or get swept, no
Yeah,
chance.
if you get swept, yeah, it's like okay, you just beat the bad teams, and then you have a
Yeah,
good
because
team
they're
come here.
taking care of business, which is good to see early on, but not too telling. Some telling stuff would have been the Yankees
I also
sweeping.
thought the Marlins were better than they just got
Me
swept by the
too.
Angels
Yeah.
too. So that makes my
0-7.
take about the Pirates look a lot worse.
I mean, they
Oh
have
and
a lot of
7 is
injuries
pretty
too.
bad.
Missing Yuri
But Huff,
Perez, missing Sandy Alcantara is tough, but the Pirates taking care of business, but against weak competition.
yeah, but Huff, nobody came into the season thinking the Pittsburgh Pirates are going to start the season 5-0. Like this is a so like I
Oh
mean
no, yeah,
they're taking care of business against the pretty bad teams, but like they were looked at as
They
a
were
bad team.
expected to be one of the
So
bad
this
teams.
is
Yeah.
this is this is huge. So even if they do go in and get swept by the Orioles, if they can keep each game close, I mean, you can still like this team could still definitely do make some noise this year. Maybe they're not as
I
good
don't.
as you might thought they were going to be, but I mean, if they go in and get swept by the Orioles and they lose 3-2, 4-2, like 5-2 or something like that, I don't think it's that big of a deal. I think that this team taking
In the
care of business. I mean, if they also lose the next two games and then they go in and lose the Orioles 3-0, they
Yeah, it's
raise
just
an
right back to
eyebrow.
I
yeah.
don't.
Like,
I don't think they was expected to be shit like you guys were just saying though. They were. I was looking at some preseason projections. People had them as
I saw
dark
them as high
horses
as
for this NL Central
13,
because this
14.
NL Central is wide open in a lot of people's opinions. And look at the young roster they put together. They have a lot of big prospect names in that heading lineup. They have young guys coming up and pitching. They built their bullpen. They're in the weakest
It's
division
more
in
the stigma
baseball.
and the recent bias of like people
Them
just
being
expect us
bad.
to be bad. Yeah.
Yeah. In,
oh, I
in
definitely
a
expected you
small
guys to be
market
bad.
team,
Yeah.
essentially, a small market team. But meanwhile, you want to talk about bad? Jump from the Pirates here, Mackie. Your New York Mets. The season's already over, and we're only 5 games in.
The season was over before the season even started, though. I mean, we knew what we were getting
That
into.
was
It's just
last
like,
year when Diaz tore his
Yeah,
arm. Isn't
yeah,
he back
yeah.
though?
yeah, but we still had the roster last year. This year, we don't
They
even have a
haven't been able
roster.
to play the trumpets yet for him, Huff.
But no, they did. They have. I think he came
Once.
in one game.
What are they? One
I
and
think
four?
it obviously no, they haven't won. It obviously
Oh, they're
wasn't
still
for that.
chasing the
But
win. They're chasing the
yeah,
win.
yeah. Well, they've only played 4 games. They keep getting rained out. But yeah, obviously terrible start to the season. All of our key players, Nimmo, Lindor, McNeil, they're all bad. They all have like one hit on the season. It's just there's no effort there. I knew we were not a playoff team this year, but I mean, this is like incredible. This is a terrible effort. You hate to see such a collapse of I mean,
Meanwhile, my
this team,
Boston Red
I,
Sox starting out strong at 5-2. Another win today on a West
Did they
Coast
cover
trip.
today? I'll be pissed
Nope,
if they
they
cover
didn't.
today.
They won 1-0, Huff.
Okay.
Nick Pivetta, he's pitched
so
11 innings, 0
you're
earned
talking of
runs, 13
you're
Ks. They split with the Seattle Mariners. It's not too bad to open up the season. One of the best pitching
you're talking
rotations in
about
the
them
MLB.
beating the A's though, beating the A's 2-1, 1-0.
It's
You're
another
talking about how
team
the
that hasn't
Pirates have
started
beaten
so good.
shit teams.
Yeah, but still, no.
Which
I mean, you got to take care of the business, right, Mackie?
you say it.
Yeah.
On the road. I said it. If you're on the road, that's I mean, I don't care who Oakland's Oakland.
No, but I have a note later in here. Let's get to it right now. I was watching that game. Have you guys seen even clips from the A's? There is nobody in the stadium. It's crazy. Huff, you were saying Asteri Ruiz and Brent Rooker got sent down for wearing bracelets supporting the selling of the ownership
I
of
think
the
Rooker
team.
just got benched. Ruiz got sent down.
Yeah, he was probably the ringleader in it. But still, that's craziness. I mean,
Ring-
nobody's really even going to these games. It's like 3 rows deep behind home plate. If you're getting that view of the pitcher with the guy on first base, there's nobody in the stands behind them. But yeah,
They got to do some strategic camera work there because they're not supposed to show it when there's like empty seats.
Yeah, and it's dead empty. And I
There's
feel like
no
you can't,
avoiding
you
that.
can't hide it. You can't hide it with the Oakland A's. But I'm going to toot the Red Sox horn one more time. I mean, this young pitching staff, Bayo, Pavetta, Crawford, Whitlock, and Houck, a lot of potential there. Like, they could be hit or miss, but they've been great to start the year. Yeah, it's against the A's, but even against the Seattle Mariners, they quelled those tough bats against a great lineup on the road, too. So I love to see that, but a lot of great baseball happening. I think the Diamondbacks have been fun to watch too. Your Pirates doing their thing. The Cubs, Huff, we've had them on the card a few times. That's probably the scariest team out there in the NL Central nowadays.
Yeah, that's who I'm scared of.
I thought it was going to be the Reds. I bought
Cardinals,
it.
another one. They're starting nice.
Yeah, I'm not afraid of the Cardinals. I know they played some good teams off the rip. They got another win last night.
They had that tough LA road trip to start the year, LA to San Diego.
They do have a pretty good, solid team, and they're always hanging around. The Cardinals are always right there. You know that. The Cubs too. Those two classic franchises. I was
And the
waiting for.
Brewers.
Ellie
They-
De La Cruz, he could be sent down. Have you been watching some of these errors he's been making in the field? He's having to play shortstop for the injured Matt McLean. And that pitching staff not coming around at all. The Reds starting slow, but like we said, it's only the first weekend, so you can't really look too much in
Yeah, I definitely think the Cubs are the team to watch in our division. Obviously, we started out hot, but I know the Cubs are playing the Rockies in their home opener or home opening series. But their bats look legit. I mean, Pirates look legit. What's the run differential? I'm looking at those right now. Cubs only have a +9 run differential. Pirates have a +18. Biggest in the MLB is hold on,
Braves have a 21. I saw.
Cleveland
have a
with
38.
+28.
there. Well, they had
Okay.
Dodgers have a 38.
the lopsided wins.
I see
Dodgers.
+14. I see
Oh wait, never mind.
+14.
Never mind. I was looking at it differently.
Yeah, it is the Guardians with +28.
Yeah, they had a big
Wow.
win today and last night behind Shane Bieber. That pitching staff too is loaded up in Cleveland. That division, speaking of wide open divisions, I think the young Tigers have looked pretty good to start
I
the
like
year.
the Tigers in that division.
The the
Screwball or whatever his
Twins,
name is, I like him.
Tariq Skubal, Casey Mize, Reese Olson, they have a lot of great young arms there. They have young hitters coming up too. Watch for them. They have some of the top prospects in the MLB. Just drafted another one in Max Clark this year. They're going to be coming up throughout the year. But on the other side, I like the Twins too. Mackey's been carding them a bit. They're the most talented team in the AL Central. And then the Guardians are going to stick around. They're always in the hunt, I feel like, and they produce the most pitching. They're like the Rays. Their farm systems are great, and they get great arms out of nowhere. And Bieber and McKenzie back in the mix, you can't count them out.
Absolutely. And then another team, number 2 in our power rankings, Yankees look like one of the hottest teams, obviously losing a couple to these Diamondbacks. Do you guys think how far is this Yankees team going to go? 4-0
Playoff,
sweep in Houston. What do you think? Coming from
playoff,
a Red Sox fan, what do you think the Yankees do this year?
playoff bound, but losing the playoffs because their pitching isn't good enough, and it hasn't been. And Garrett
But
Cole
it
being
can
out,
be. It
can
can
it though?
be.
Can it though?
They
I don't.
have the pitchers. You could see Marcus
They
Stroman
don't. They
become
don't.
a very good 3. Carlos Rodon,
Marcus
was a
Stroman
Cy
was
Young
written off
candidate 2 years.
before last year. Marcus Stroman was
I like
written off,
Cortez. He's been
and
getting rung.
yeah,
Yeah,
Cortez.
Cortez has been getting wrong, but he's there. Dude, they have
I know,
4
but
pitchers
I'm saying I
that
like
can
him.
Mackey,
be
but they
top
haven't
tier.
been. They're not built for the big stage. Maybe that's what it is. New York's a tough place to pitch. When you're the Yankees, you're the most watched team. Most fans are in the stadium for that team too. And maybe the pressure is just too much. The only guy I trust is Garrett Cole, and I don't even trust him in the playoffs. So I think if they're going to get there because of the
You
talent,
don't
if they stay
trust Garrett
healthy,
Cole?
not in the playoffs,
In the World Series?
not with the Yankees. No, I'm talking about all these guys have great careers before they get to the Yankees. It's a lot tougher to pitch there, and it's a fact.
Yeah.
Um,
Soto looks having a hell of a year in his
Yeah,
pinstripes
it's
in
not. It's
that
definitely
Oakland
not.
Stadium.
Not messing with Soto. New York's not messing with Soto at all. He's starting, pretty hot. Judge followed him up
but those are
today with
hitters.
the home run.
Those are hitters.
No, I'm not. I was
Did the
just
Yankees
talking
end
about
up winning
something else
today?
now. We want to get back into that. I think that the Yankees have, if if they all play together, they have one of the best starting rotations in the American League, and they have
I
the
think
best
that they should be the favorite in the American League.
and
No,
they
they
and
had,
they have one of the best rosters to go along, or the best lineups to go along with it. I mean, this team was projected to not even be that good this year, but they're starting 5-1. They're taking care of business right now again. I think that they're definitely contenders
I
this
think
year.
they'll have a big season. They're gonna have. They might even have 100+ win season. Win the division, one of the best division in baseball, maybe the second best if you count the NL West. But I just don't see them putting it together in the playoffs. You're asking a lot. People have to stay healthy, and then the pitching staff, which has been lackluster in their New York tenures, need to pick it up.
Who do you trust more? Because I assume is it the Orioles that you like to win your division?
I do like the Orioles. Yeah, they're the young team and they have more talent. I think they're deep, a lot deeper than the Yankees too. They don't have the upfront name brand talent in their pitching rotation, but they have the depth
That's
in.
what I'm saying. If you don't like the Yankees rotation, you can't trust this Orioles rotation to go far in
No,
the
no,
playoffs.
but no, I'm not. I don't think they go far in the playoffs either. The Astros will get in; they'll take care of business when they get there. They're missing Justin Verlander right now. They have Christian Javier and Framber Valdez. They have
They just threw the no.
yeah, Ronel Blanco if he stays in the rotation.
Yeah, but you can't expect him to just.
Once Verlander comes back,
He could be bounced. Him or JP France in that tail end of the rotation.
I like JP France. I think he's a good pitcher.
Yeah, they
The
like
Astros
use
are
him out of the
1-5.
pen too, though. Yeah, but that's all right. It's super
They'll
early.
find their.
Yeah, I think they'll be good once they get
What's
there.
scary is those are all home games.
The Rangers. What about the Rangers? We don't talk about them ever. I know they lost today. We had them on the card the other day. I think they missed two. Do you think they're
They
they're
won today.
yeah with Nate Eovaldi?
Seager hit a bomb. I saw that.
Yeah. Are they going to stick around? I didn't believe in them last year. They won the World Series. Do I ever buy in on them? I guess not. But they're a
They'll
good
stay
team.
around. They'll definitely be up there.
But
You
yeah,
can
I
see 'em in the
trust.
playoffs though.
It's a two-man race in that division between the Rangers and Astros.
I'm just saying, if we're talking, playoffs is so far away. We have to see what lineups look like when we get there. I'm just saying, I couldn't trust the Yankees and Orioles based off recent track record in the playoffs. But regular season, I think the Yankees are going to roll for sure. I think that the Orioles are going to roll for sure. You could see 3 playoff teams out of the AL East.
Did you guys see the other night? I don't know when it was and who they were playing. Rangers had bases loaded. Adolis Garcia was coming up to bat, and they hit him with the pitch. And Garcia was so fucking pissed.
It was
He
against
wanted
the
to hit it.
Rays.
I think it might have been. He wanted to hit the grand slam so fucking bad, and they hit him with a pitch, so he couldn't. So he couldn't.
I just remember when I had them on opening day, and they had that dramatic come from behind win where they tied it in the 9th and won it in extras. I mean,
against the Cubs.
Yeah, and I like this Rangers team. I mean, I'm not bought in on them to win a World Series or anything. Again, I think the Astros are still better, but yeah, they'll be in the mix, like Mackie said.
Yeah. Absolutely, yeah, that's some good stuff in the MLB. Like we said, Ronel Blanco, first no hitter of the MLB season. Astros, though, a tough start. We kind of touched on some of the stuff with the Oakland A's, what's going on with Esteury Ruiz, Brent Rooker. We said a couple things going on there with Ruiz being sent down to AAA, Rooker being benched. Oakland continues to lose games, but kind of other stuff that we've been doing, kind of taking some plays on the MLB. I think we're what 5-2 or 6-2 to start out the year. We were 5-0. Tough 1-2 night last night. Couldn't get that Red Sox cover late night to get the winning day. Would have been nice. They won by one. I did not see the end of that game, but once I saw, weren't they down 4-3 at one
Yeah,
point?
they were losing 4-3
Yeah,
late in the game.
yeah. I was just, once I saw them tied, I was just like, all right, we maybe have a chance here, but I feel like they're going to win by one, and that was exactly what happened. But um, yeah. Other than that, I mean, Final Four this weekend. We ready to get into that?
Yeah, it's just some good basketball. You guys gotta tee us up here. Give me some good picks.
Absolutely, yeah. So Elite Eight recap, Mackie. We had a couple good games this past weekend that we saw in the college basketball world. On Saturday, we saw UConn wipe Illinois as they've done every team. Alabama take down Clemson in that by 7 in that Elite Eight matchup to move on to that Final Four matchup against UConn. So we will see, and then in the other side of the bracket, we will get Purdue versus NC State after Purdue took down Tennessee on a nice come from behind win for Zach Edey and those Purdue Boilermakers. And then the Cinderella story lives on as NC State takes down their in-state rival Duke as the 11 seed moves on to the Final Four to take on Purdue. This is going to be a great Final Four. I think NC State versus Purdue, great game. And then obviously Alabama, UConn, another great game as well. Two fat spreads, 8.5 and 11.5. I see right here on ESPN. Mackie, we'll kind of touch more on the spreads this weekend on our when we go into the live stream and things like that. But if you have any leans, certain things, if you want to lock in anything right now, kind of jump in here and go ahead for the Final Four.
Yeah, I absolutely love UConn minus 11.5. And it's probably going to be very public. And I'm not just riding this, their covering spread. I haven't been high on Alabama the entire tournament, and they give up so many points. And this UConn team has just been finding you cannot stop them. You cannot stop them for two possessions in a row. There's no way the worst defense in the tournament left is going to be able to stop them two possessions in a row at any point. I think UConn just kind of piles it on here. You could see it get ugly pretty early, but I think they win by at least 20.
Yeah, I definitely could see that happen. I just haven't taken them enough. I haven't taken them really at all in the streak. So I feel like buying in now that wouldn't be
I know I'm
the
not. That's
best
why
move for me to do.
I'm not buying in on that streak. I'm just trying to handicap.
Yeah, but no,
You know,
I know exactly. Yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
but
And then the
that
other
other
one,
game,
obviously NC State Purdue, the heavy money on the America's team and the NC State Wolfpack.
really,
But yeah, there's a lot
I
that
think
you knew
Purdue gets
that's
it
gonna be a
done.
public play. I think Purdue gets it done.
I think 8.5 is tough though.
I was just gonna say I think that I definitely could see it be close, but I like Purdue to win.
I think Purdue gets it done. I think Zach Edey's here to at
Purdue
least get
versus
the
UConn.
national
That's what everyone wants to
championship.
see.
Yeah, yeah. I
It's the
mean,
true number one versus
Yeah,
two that we had all
that's
year.
what I want to see too. And UConn, I'm surprised we haven't carded them much because they've covered spreads left and right, and they're like crazy numbers.
you
I
just
like
like to stay
you've
away from
noticed,
those
Mackie.
higher
You definitely
spreads,
noticed
but
this too. Like the way I bet in college basketball, like I'd take Purdue minus 15.5. It was only on their home floor. I've never done that on a neutral site, and I've never done that on an away game. And neutral sites, I don't care who it is. I can't do the like who was it in the first round? Like 23.5 against Stetson. Like, yeah, I know they're gonna cover that, but I just can't.
Yeah,
I
but
can't
Huff,
then
sweat.
do you think
what if
is
they
I don't know
don't,
if it's ever
man?
happened, but do you think there's a chance that they cover the spread every single game this tournament and just roll and win the whole thing?
They did it
Yeah.
last year. They
They
But
they
covered
you're saying
covered the
back
everything
you're
last
spread.
saying
They
tournament.
covered every spread though.
Covered every spread last tournament.
but like Mackie, they were saying
And
they
they've
did
so
it
how many games is that a row, Mackie, in the
It's
tournament?
like
5
12.
games.
You already know it's like 10
That's mind
because
blowing to me.
they did
5
six
games
last
each
year and
tournament.
four this year. No, there's six.
Oh yeah, if you win the national title, it's 6.
So they did six last
Like,
year, and now they're
That's
at
crazy,
four already.
boys. That's
They could
crazy.
do 12.
yeah, you're right. It's 6 if you win the national title. But they were talking about. I don't think they'd be the first team to go back to back. Obviously, since Florida in 06-07, and they said Florida did not do the cover streak. Like they didn't cover every game like this.
Not as dominant.
This is
Yeah,
insane
UConn's
how
good.
good this team is. Dan Hurley hasn't playing great basketball. Everybody in
Yeah.
Rhode Island loving on Dan Hurley.
Here's the
Former
do you
coach.
could this be the best like 2-year run in college basketball history?
Dude, that's where you got to get really technical because there's a lot of good college basketball that happened
There
before we were
is.
alive.
North
UCLA
Carolina.
won dude, Magic Johnson won 4 years in a row at UCLA, or
That's why I
not?
said
Not
2 years.
Magic
That's why
Johnson. Magic was at Michigan State. UCLA has a stretch where they won 5 in a row, and if
Kareem
you say that to the wrong, maybe
when
it
he
wasn't
was
Kareem.
when he was
But,
what was his name? Like Alcindor or
yeah,
he had a
Lou
different name.
Alcindor.
Lou Al
Lou
or something
Alcindor.
weird, yeah.
Alcindor.
Lou
Yeah.
Alcindor or something like that. But yeah, that's why I specifically said 2-year stretch. But
Modern
like
day college
I
basketball.
also didn't want to get
Yeah,
into like the 70s and the 60s and shit. But
modern
like
day, post 90s.
yeah, even I would even say 90s if you want to involve the
That's what
90s.
That's what I'm saying. Post 1990.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I would say I think so. From what I've seen, this is the best 2-year stretch. I mean, this is incredible.
And it's not even the same
Incredible how
team.
dominant.
Last year
It
they were
it
dominant because they had Sonogo and you couldn't get around Sonogo. This year it's Klingon. This year it's Newton. Newton was there last year. They've brought in so many
Harriman was there
transfers.
last year
This team
too.
literally just reloaded. It was all they did.
So maybe it's Dan Hurley, the magician.
Dan
is.
Hurley's a great coach.
The magician. But
It is.
goddamn, this team, I
He's going to
mean,
be the
this
next big time. Obviously, you say Izzo, Calipari, all these guys. Dan Hurley's about to go
Hurley.
back to back.
Yeah.
Krzyzewski, all these great coaches. He's getting his name in that conversation very quickly, especially playing in a market like UConn in the Big East, dominating the Big East every year. I mean, if they continue to do this in the future, they're definitely starting a dynasty up there.
Who says they're going anywhere next year? I mean, if they can do this again next year.
All right, we both just said it's going to be Purdue UConn. Or you just no shot UConn wins it. Or no shot Purdue wins it.
No,
Purdue could
I
win.
don't think I think it's comical to even like we're gonna look back on this in 2 weeks and we're gonna be like, it's comical we didn't just take UConn. That was
When I
super
sent it in the
disrespect.
group chat a few weeks ago, I said, "Yeah, they're plus 120 to win the whole thing right now. We're not going to see it. Is there any value?" Like,
Yeah,
nah.
it's it's just we're gonna look back at ourselves and just laugh about it because I mean
That
this
was
team is
Ace. That
so
was
good.
also before Arizona lost and before Iowa State and Illinois played each other. So all
Yeah.
three of those teams they still had to get through.
But still, it's just they've been.
Yeah, but still, honestly, he's right. But still, I mean, if you can get this team at plus, I mean, obviously they're minus 200 now at this point, but even plus minus 200, I think is great value for this team.
Here it is. Here it
I'm
is
not
right
even
here.
lying.
Here it is right here. Any value? UConn is a wagon. And it's
It's true.
Well, Mackie, also remember, UConn hasn't had to take a flight to any of these games until the Final Four.
Okay, yeah, but it's not like this is a random. It's not like last year when they were in a 1 seed. I mean, this team's the best team in the country all year.
yeah.
Like that, it's not like they're just on a run right now. This team is.
This is expected.
Yes, it's not expected this bad, but
Kind of is by them at least.
and Alabama's going across the country too. So
What a matchup too. They're gonna roll in this game. I might take them with the points.
Huff, what do you think the spread is in UConn Purdue?
UConn minus
4.5.
7.
I'd say 6.5. I was thinking 5.5.
I wanted to say
You're
7.5,
gonna
and I
lose
just said
6.5.
7.
You're gonna see. I think it's gonna be between 4.5 and 6.5. If you see 4.5, it's a little sketchy. I'm not gonna lie.
I'd take
But
that's
I
so
think a
that's so
book is
sketchy.
crazy for making anybody under a 5-point underdog against them.
Yeah. But I know you two watched this. I was kind of flicking back and forth. I was sweating out a baseball parlay. That Iowa versus LSU women's Elite Eight game the other night. Obviously, Caitlin Clark, I think she put up 41 points. Angel Reese fouled out. There's obviously some bad blood there. They've obviously said they don't hate each other. It's just good competition. I cannot stand that fucking LSU coach.
Yeah, I mean,
I was so happy to see
What's
her
her name?
lost.
Kimmy something.
Kim Mulkey. Oh, she's terrible. She's the fucking worst. I can't stand listening to her talk in press conferences. I'm so happy to see LSU lose this game.
It's funny
Now
because
I kinda wanna
Angel
see
Reese, she's not even the best player on her team. There's 2
I
players
want to
better
say
than her
I
right
No,
now.
she
truly
is.
would.
She's the best
I
player on
think
her
it,
team.
You think?
I think it would be sweet if she is. I think it would be
Haley
sweet
Van
if
Lith is really
UConn
good
women
too.
and
Yeah,
UConn
that's
men
what I
both
thought.
won.
I think you could easily not. I wouldn't say easily because you got to play USC, the team that hasn't lost all
Yeah,
season.
I was
But
I I was seeing this too, like Mackie. I know you're getting to it, like the Paige Bucher. She could do it, but like she has the toughest road to win it.
No, they'll get through Iowa. They'll get through Iowa. I'm
I don't
I'm
know. I
pretty
feel like
confident of
Caitlin
that.
Clark is destined to like win a national championship.
I
Iowa's
think she was
not.
just I think she was
Iowa's
just destined
not.
to beat LSU.
You think that's
Yeah,
it?
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. Iowa's not that good. They really aren't. The rest of their players are like LSU outmatched like crazy. You
Like
just
I
had
knew
Caitlin Clark drop 41
Yeah, that's
points,
what I'm
pulling
saying
30,
though. But you don't
27.
you like you know how we said if a couple weeks from now when we look back at UConn and we talk about it, a couple weeks from now when we see
I
like national champion Caitlin Clark, like
No, because you have USC who's 38-0 on the other side.
yeah, I agree. I agree.
So I
I
wouldn't
agree.
even. I think if USC has any
But I
chance of
wouldn't be
losing, it's not
surprised.
to Iowa.
If Caitlin Clark does, I wouldn't be surprised just because of her. UConn though,
I
Yeah,
just
the
think
double with UConn and men's and women's, that'd be pretty cool to see.
yeah, just the one thing I do know about women's college basketball is that Gino for UConn's one of the better coaches. I just feel like he'll drop a better game plan for Caitlin Clark than I mean, from when I was watching that LSU Iowa game, it was Caitlin Clark would come across the court, the one guard would pick her up, all their bigs would drop back and just hope they're going to get the
Didn't
rebound and get the
double.
ball.
They
Why are you
didn't
not doubling
double.
her? She has 30 points.
Yeah.
They did not double. Like nobody. This is what I'm saying with
UConn
nobody
would do that.
else on
UConn
Iowa
makes those
can.
adjustments.
Nobody else in Iowa can get the job done. And Paige Buchers is slightly okay. She cannot do everything Caitlin Clark can do. She can do a lot of other things that Caitlin Clark can't do. I'm not going to say she's better than Caitlin Clark, but she's right
She's
there
right
with
there.
her.
She's right.
And UConn has a better supporting cast. They
Mhm.
do
Yeah,
by
I agree.
far, and they have a better coach. I don't even really know much about Iowa's coach, but they definitely have the better coach. I think UConn rolls, and I think they're favorites. If I'm
They
not
are by three and
mistaken.
a half.
No, I was favored by 2.5.
I thought it
UConn was
was
favored last game. That's what it was, but
yeah.
um, I don't know. I think
UConn
UConn
money
gets
line
it done.
plus
I ended
110.
I ended up taking the minus 3.5. I asked you guys for any picks on it. I was like, UConn minus 3.5. I was like, all right, Mackie and I were talking about Paige Bucher's big time. I'm gonna take it, and they covered late.
Yeah, they covered late because they were tied at half.
Yeah, I was following it. That was a
Absolutely.
pretty good one to watch.
It's
But
actually fun. I've never had fun watching like women's college
well, because
basketball.
there's actual
Like
people to follow now. That class, I think, did we send it in the chat, or maybe I saw it on
the
social
game
media?
is
That
evolving.
there's just that top group of players are fun to follow. They actually some superstars now.
Yeah, when you actually know who you're watching, you know what I mean?
Mm.
But yeah, Ace, if you want to kind of go through this college basketball or college hockey stuff, we have what is it, Frozen Four coming up?
Yeah, Frozen Four. Mackie, I think you were watching some. We had some picks going. My picks keep rolling. BC and
I, w- I
BU.
went I went 0-3 in those picks that I
Did
said.
I
you?
can't even
Did
I
you?
can't
Yeah.
even bet on this.
I just keep taking BC and BU and parlaying them. I know they played on alternating days, but here's a quick recap for you. I'll read through it. So we do have four teams left now in the NCAA College Hockey Frozen Four, and it's set to include the Boston College Eagles, as we expected, the one seed with that dynamic top line that all committed together from Team USA. The Michigan Wolverines, who are always up there. The Denver Pioneers, also always up there. Two good teams out west. And then the Boston Terriers, BU and BC, set up for that collision course in the finals, in my opinion. From the Elite Eight, BC defeated Quinnipiac 5-4, which is actually pretty crazy. Quinnipiac was on that run, a lot of overtime game winners. People were liking them as a dark
Defending
horse team.
champs.
Yeah, people like them as a dark horse to knock off BC, and they got pretty close, closest I think anybody did get and might get. Michigan beat Michigan State 5-2 in a rivalry matchup. Denver defeated Cornell 2-1. I remember going to a few Cornell games earlier this year. It was pretty cool to see them get that far. Boston University defeated Minnesota 6-3. That game was much closer than that score indicates. Two empty net goals late helped me cover. I had BU minus 1.5, and they did God's work and put in two empty net goals for me. Addison Collins, longtime listener, thought that Minnesota would be able to knock them off. I don't think they did. So BU still set, and the matchups will take place on April 11th. So just over a week away. BC versus Michigan at 8:30, and BU versus Denver at 5. So that'll be a good day to watch. Hopefully we can get BCBU. I don't know about you guys, but if you can find a future, take the BC one probably because they're so stacked. But yeah,
Celebrini can't do it by himself up there for BU.
nah, too
He's
young
definitely
too.
not by himself. He's definitely not by
He's not
himself.
even the
I
best
think
player on his team. He's the
yeah,
most skilled,
he's
but
top 3,
yeah, but
top
the
2 maybe.
yeah,
Here's
probably
what I
is
did
too.
want to ask you this.
Yeah,
Mackie, so I told you Swankler, he transferred to Michigan Tech. When I
yeah.
saw this bracket that Ace posted, I had no clue that they would be in this. Are they actually were they pretty good this year?
I didn't pay attention this year. I've only really paid attention in the past. I didn't
Ace,
really
do
get
you
on
know?
that,
I
but
only
I
follow
would
you get
Hockey
these
East.
random teams. I'll tell you what they were right now. Who is it? Michigan Tech?
Yeah, I didn't even know they had an NCAA team. When he transferred there and posted that, I was like, "Is that a club team?"
Nah, they were 32nd, but they probably went on a run and, like, won their conference or something and got in.
That's
Yeah,
definitely what it is.
But,
I
and
just
then
follow
Bucks got
Hockey
wiped by
East.
BC in the
like, you
first
have
round.
those, like Maine usually isn't good. They were 5th this year. Obviously, they didn't get
Maine's a
in,
cool
but
school. I like when schools like that are good in
I
hockey.
mean,
That's cool.
UNH
yeah,
in Vermont, you mean?
I like
what?
Maine the most out
Yeah,
of all those schools.
Yeah.
and you have, like, teams like Cornell was 12th this year. Cornell's usually not that good.
Yeah, I saw them play live. Remember, I told you guys that. I was
The
like, this
hell's
team's pretty good.
RIT?
RIT's good.
Or
Rochester Institute of Technology.
yeah,
Serious?
Orange, fucking ugly ass school.
Yep.
But,
I
yeah.
like
UND.
I like following Northeastern, Quinnipiac, Harvard, BU, BC. Those
I
are
miss whenever we were in like high school. Do you remember how gross North Dakota was? All the highlight videos you'd see on like social
yeah.
media.
And you were like, is that the only thing going
The
on in that
Besser.
state?
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm
When
telling you,
what was his name?
parlay.
Drake Kajula was there. Remember all those highlight
Let,
videos?
let me get a line for you guys because I'm going to tell you, Mackie, parlay BC and BU. Just do it. Just trust.
Yeah, I think they get there. I think BC just takes care of business. It's gonna be really
Mackie, if
tough
you
to beat
parlay
them.
the two of them right now, you get them plus 170.
What's BU's money line? What's
They're
BC's?
both minus 160.
BU's playing Michigan, aren't they?
BU is playing Denver. Michigan's playing Boston College.
Oh, so then I think it's a better chance of getting there. Actually, Denver's pretty damn good this year too.
They are. They are. But I just think that crash course has been set, Mackie. It's been set for a while.
Yeah,
If we
BC's
if
3-1 this year against BU.
right, so there's always a chance, but I think they're due to get their national title. They knew what they did going to BC, all those top line guys, and they're gonna get their due. It'll be fun to watch for sure. We'll have more on
Yeah,
that
Yeah.
next week as we get
next.
I didn't.
next week will be a day away.
Yeah, I didn't know that was coming up. That next weekend, obviously, college basketball Monday. This next Thursday is that Thursday,
Yep.
and then the Masters kicked off next weekend. So that's a good week of sports coming up. But yeah, I think that's gonna do it. And anyone got anything else they want to get into? Or are we good to get out of here?
No, I think
Nah,
this
the
is great.
Orioles suck.
Everything's heating up. Yeah, yeah, you took them first 5. Mine's still alive, but I need them to do some damage here, get some
You
runs
need
across.
some late, yeah, you need some late damage. Light up the bullpen or something. I need to get Cole
MLB's been
Reagans out
fun
of
to
this
watch
team.
though. MLB TV back in full swing. Day baseball playoff pushes on. The Bruins are gross. Mackey's Rangers in the mix. I mean, NBA
In the
playoffs.
mix.
Yeah, in the mix of getting knocked out in the first round by the Pittsburgh Penguins. You like that one, Huff? But we'll
I
see
would like
coming down
that.
the stretch. Some good wild cards heating up in the Eastern Conference. Going to watch some hockey and baseball tonight.
Absolutely. Yeah. Thanks for listening. We'll see you guys Saturday. My Final Four. Get you some picks out. Like we said, big weekend in sports world coming up. Make sure you're staying tuned on the social media. Get some plays out. Starting to do the plays in a video format, so they're not just on the Instagram story every day. Make sure you're tuning in to the Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, getting those out there everywhere. But other than that, thanks for listening, and we will see you guys this weekend for the Final Four.